Okay.
All righty, everybody. Well, so everyone,
Is it just now?
welcome to the September. It's already September. Welcome to the September meeting of Grand Strand Astronomers. Sorry, we actually lost a person or two here. So right when I did that, so not sure why that happened, but we'll carry on anyway, and maybe people will join back in. So again, for anybody that's watching this either on the video or watching it delayed, so we are here for the September meeting. So before we get started, a couple of details and things or administrative stuff, right? So we haven't had too much luck with astronomy observing this summer. It's been pretty terrible. But the good news is we're moving into a season where we probably have some clearer skies. In fact, last weekend was clear. So we do have some upcoming events that I wanted to just talk about briefly here, and then we can go back to our conversation. So the next observing session at Hampton State Park, and I'm pulling up the exact date right now. Sorry, I didn't have that right at hand. Is going to be September 16th. So encourage anyone to come out, whether you're a member or not. But definitely check the website on the day of the event, because depending on conditions, we'll let you know if we're coming out or not. So we were out there actually in August, hoping to get good conditions. We got a great firefly picture. There were lots of fireflies out there, but other than that, we saw absolutely nothing. So we got that dark sky observing. October, we're going to have two opportunities. So there's unfortunately on both on the same day. The dark sky night is of course October 14th. We're going to go to Hampton then, but during the day on October 14th, that's the annular eclipse. Now, of course, in South Carolina, it's not 100%, but it's going to be partial. So we're going to try to organize an observing at Coastal Carolina University and get that advertised. So we have a number of solar scopes. Even if you don't have a solar scope, be glad to get some members out to help, right? Because we're expecting people from the public to want to view it, and viewing it through a hydrogen alpha scope actually is pretty cool. So that's on October 14th. On October 21st, and again, this will be all be on the website. Hopefully within the week. On October 21st, we're going to do a public observing at Huntington Beach State Park. So we'll be at Huntington Beach, and we'll do observing for the public. They're advertising that. The next thing is of course, November 11th is the dark sky observing for at Hampton State Park for November. Right now, we are trying to work on an event at Brookgreen Gardens. Brookgreen Gardens wants to do an event for the Scouts. If we're in the preliminary planning, but we're thinking it's going to be Saturday, November 18th. And what we're going to have is hopefully we'll have the planetarium from Coastal Carolina there. That's not confirmed yet. But we also have a spot there by the Low Country Center where it has good horizons, and we're going to set up some telescopes. So it starts we'll start about 4:30, and they're going to have some crafts, hopefully make some s'mores and things like that. So should be a pretty good event. So that's the kind of the general flow for the next couple of months, right? So there'll be opportunities for public observings, and there'll be opportunities for observing at dark sky sites. That's of course, all this is of course assuming that the weather actually cooperates, which it has not this summer. As we said, it was actually terrible since April or May, but hopefully it will look nice. So that was the main stuff. We also, as Denise was talking about before we went live, we have our new newsletter out. If that's not on the website now, it'll be on the website within a couple of days. So thanks to Tim Kelly for, kind of really riding herd on that newsletter. He does a great job. Okay, so we were just talking a little bit about some of the folks that Denise has been working with. Particularly, we were talking about Brandon Q. Morris, who has written a number of books and that she met. Brandon, he's actually a real scientist, and he writes what's called hard science fiction. So it turns out he's got a lot of books. So we'll have to kind of check some of those out. I don't know. Has anybody gotten out? I would also ask, has anybody gotten out to see the comet? Probably not you, Denise, because you probably got a lot of light pollution where you are, and probably not great horizons.
I saw that Dr. Janine French, is it Janine French? Janine French.
Yes.
That she saw it. I saw that on her post on
right.
media. So that was exciting. She got to see it. Did you see it?
I have not seen it. I looked for it on Tuesday morning. Naturally, I'm up very early on Tuesdays and Thursdays, especially Tuesday. I had to get up double early, and I tried to see it. It was supposed to be pretty easy to find because where Venus is, it's just to the left of Venus, right? And I tried to see it, and I could not really see it. It seemed, I don't know if there was a little bit of haze in the east, or it just didn't seem like there was a lot of resolution. That I mean, I could see Venus, but I couldn't see a lot of other things, right? So I don't know what that means. Unfortunately, the next couple of days look pretty poor forecast wise with this cold front moving in. So, but I would encourage everybody to get out in the morning and try to see this. It's not going to be around too long at this time. It's actually still pretty close to the sun now. So you don't have to get up too early, because if you get up way early, like 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to see it because it's so close to the sun. So it's really, let's see, let's pull it up and look at. Let's see. Clearly, I was not ready for this discussion, but I should have been. So if everybody will bear with me just 1 minute. I was hoping somebody had seen it. It's supposed to be almost naked eye, but again, it's so low. It's kind of difficult to see it. Let's see, F11. Trying to pull it up here for everybody. Give me just 1 second. Well, let's just bring up a different one. Sorry, folks, just bear with me here. I don't know, can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if you get up about 1 hour in the morning and you want to look at the low in the eastern sky, and it's going to be low, You see it's just moves into Leo right now. It's actually moving pretty fast, right? It's not very high. I was trying to get it pulled up on Stellarium for our area, which would actually see if I could so let me actually, it's almost there. Okay, Nishimura. Nishimura, sorry. P1 Nishimura. Okay. Okay, let me see if I can bring this up for everybody. Okay. And what I am going to do here is switch my screen, stop sharing that one, share off this one. Hopefully everybody can see this one. And let's play with our time a little bit. So tomorrow is the 8th. And we'll move back in time. I'm not sure if you can see it at 5 a.m. So that's about 5:30 in the morning, right? Just still technically dark. And let's look at Nishimura. Yeah, so it's low. So if we go and move, looks like it doesn't get above the horizon until after 5 a.m. So I was going to try to go to 6 a.m. So you see, just as it's starting to get light, you should see it. And you see Venus is right here, which is actually pretty easy to see in the morning, right? No matter where you live, right? So you can see Venus is pretty easy, right? And if we look at Venus, it says, what's the altitude? Sorry, all this data here. The main thing is looking at the altitude, right? 18 degrees. So that's pretty high up, right? But if you go here to Nishimura, it says the height here at 6 a.m. tomorrow is going to be, the altitude is 9 degrees. That's pretty low in the east. So if you kind of hold a fist out at the end of your arm and kind of estimate where the horizon is, it's about 1 fist up. So it's low. But some of the pictures that are there actually look pretty cool. They say it's brightening. So if I bring this over here, this is a picture someone got of it, right? Now, I wonder, this is in Egypt, right? In the desert, so it's pretty dark. So, I don't know if you can expect to see it this bright, but some of the other folks from this area have said they needed binoculars to see it, but they could pick it out in binoculars. So again, it's kind of right there. If I turn on the artwork here, let's see the constellation lines. So this is Leo, the head of Leo. And so if you kind of, again, look for Venus, you get Procyon up here and look for Venus and kind of carry on in a line between the two. That'll point you in the general direction. You see it's about the same distance as Procyon is from Venus. And Procyon is pretty bright too. So if you kind of look at that, it looks like it's dead between east and northeast, for us. And again, this is set for, our local area, right? So hopefully folks can get out there and see it, right? So hopefully somebody will be able to see it. I don't know what the latest conditions are. I haven't looked at it, but I don't think it's going to be too promising the next few days. But if you're up early, and you don't have to be up that early, right? Like 6 a.m., right? Grab a pair of binoculars, go outside and see if you can see it. We also tried to observe the Perseids in August, and we didn't really see anything because the clouds. So unfortunately, we didn't get any good meteors either. So hopefully we'll have better luck with some of the meteor showers. So coming up. So. I didn't have too much of a program today. We'll have a program next month. We'll get Denise to probably talk about her globetrotting adventures here in astronomy. So that will be fun. So I will also want to try to schedule a collimation workshop sometime in September. We're going to try for sometime either here in September or early October, so we can work on collimation. So I'll try to find a Saturday that works for everybody on that. So anybody have any other astronomy related items? See any good astronomy products or astronomy books? Did anybody get a chance to get outside? Well, so as we get into fall, hopefully we will get a lot clearer weather, and we'll be able to see some cool things in the sky. There's all the good fall sights, and if you take any images, or use your camera, you'll be able to get some interesting pictures, like of the Cygnus area and everything. So hopefully, and of course, the other thing I forgot to mention is Saturn was at opposition just recently. What that means is the sun's on one side of Earth and Saturn's on the other. So on the day it's in opposition, of course, it rises right as the sun sets, and Saturn sets as the sun rises. But it's also closest to Earth. So it's a really good time if you want to hook a webcam up and try to get a picture of Saturn before the rings kind of close down. You want to actually try to do that. So hopefully, we'll get some good weather here soon, and we can all maybe look forward to some good Saturn pictures. So
it was cool. We looked at it. It was cool seeing the sky in the southern hemisphere, and we had a guide out there, and she pointed her Dobsonian to Saturn, so we saw it from there too. It was very neat.
It's very bright right now, so and it looks pretty good. So especially if you've got a little bit of aperture, you can actually see some pretty good detail. So I highly recommend everybody get out and look at Saturn as well. Even if you looked at it before, Saturn's always fun to look at. So. So it's also time to dust off all your equipment. If you've had it sitting in the garage all summer because the weather was terrible, which it was, now's a good time to next few weekends to maybe take it outside. And even if it's not a very clear night, just to make sure it all works and fix anything that's broken. And that way we're ready to go when we have observing session. So again, we if people regards to doing the dark sky site at Hampton, they're still interested in pursuing that, but we haven't heard anything more on finalizing the agreement or doing a work day there. So I'll keep talking to them and let everybody know if we get anything on that.
What are those dates again? I'm gonna write them. I'm gonna actually write them pen to paper.
For Hampton?
Or the Huntington Beach, the potential Boy Scouts was November 18th. And what about Huntington? In Hampton, yeah. Give me that.
Huntington is October 21st.
Okay.
And that is set.
Okay.
Of course, that will be weather dependent, right? In Hampton is going to be October 14th and September 16th and November 11th.
Okay, that's
and of course, you can always see all these on our website at gsastro.org. Huntington Beach is not up there yet, but again, it will be up there by the end of this weekend.
Right.
So we'll definitely list all those events. You can always look there and see when these events are.
Okay. Thank you.
Now we're looking forward to hopefully getting some good conditions so we can show some people some sights in the sights in the sky. I know also there was, I think a couple of people went out to play card in Loris. I think it was last week. I was unable to be there, so I can't give a report on it. And I don't think anybody here, well, I know Denise, you weren't there, long drive for you. And same with Ronnie, long drive. But I believe they went out, I believe at least one person went out to play card. It's the Environmental Learning Center in Western Horry County, and did some observing out there. So we'll try to get a report of that. So if they've invited us to come out when we want to, as long as we give them a little advance notice. For those of you that are like pretty far north in the area, that might be a better choice. Not quite as dark as Hampton, but it might be a better choice if you just don't want to drive, right? So for Hampton, which is just south of Georgetown. So yeah, that was pretty much all I had for tonight. I didn't really have a set program for tonight. So again, I'll apologize. We'll have a featured speaker in October, and we'll get one for November as well. We'll have a featured program for November. Does anybody have anything they want to add before we cut off the live stream? Okay, so for the live stream, folks, thanks for coming. So I will go ahead and stop the live stream. And again, thank you for coming. And if you have any questions, you can always email us.